This is David with the Paranormal Sessions podcast. Today I wanted to talk about the two children's spirits that have been in my room or my bedroom for the last roughly 14 years. And I finally figured out who they are, and I have actually seen them before, but I don't know why I just never made the connection. So just for a little, for the other people who aren't familiar with the backstory, when I started experiencing a lot of paranormal activity in my bedroom 14 years ago, and I was at that time, I was pretty much scared every night because this all came at me at once. It wasn't like a slow, gradual increase of paranormal activity. It started from that day and it just never stopped. Well, it stopped after about 8 or 9 months. I had a break. But at the time when I would go to bed, oftentimes I would feel the bed shake just a little bit. And at first I thought maybe it was an evil spirits, but I thought, why are they just doing it so like almost gently? And I started thinking it's got to be not an evil spirit, a good spirit, but they're almost like they're playing with me. So a short time afterwards, I'd put up 2 aquariums in my bedroom, and one day I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, and I feel a weight next to me on the right side of me, and then another weight on the left side. And it wasn't adults, because you could feel the bed, go down a little bit, but it had to be maybe 20 pounds, at most, or 15, well, anywhere from 15 to 25 pounds of weight. And I thought it's got to be children, because for it to go down such a little amount. And so every night when I'd go to bed, I'd feel the bed kind of rocking, and it'd last for about a minute, sometimes longer, and then that'd be it. And it went on regularly. And I finally realized that, and then, with the weights that would sit next to me when I sit on the edge of the bed, that it had to be children's spirits, but I couldn't figure out who they were. Or, why are they around me? I know they're not evil. And about 4 or 5 days ago, I don't know why I never thought of this. I feel kind of foolish, but when all this paranormal activity started 14 years ago, I went up to the Hotel Vendome in Prescott, Arizona. And if anyone wants to go to a haunted location, that's it. It's every time I've gone there, there's been a lot of paranormal activity. So I was looking at some other information online, and then it occurred to me, when I had gone the first time to the Hotel Vendome, went with a friend of mine, and that first night, I woke up around, I don't know, it must have been around midnight, and I saw a vision of a man that was dressed like in the 1800s, and his hair slicked back, and he had rather bug eyes, and he's talking really fast. And I wake up, my friend and I go, there's a ghost right there. And of course he said, where? And I go, there. And of course I realize they can't see him, but I can. So, after about half an hour, because I was, pretty excited, about it, finally went back to bed. And then I think it was about 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the morning, I wake up again with another vision, and I see these 2 little kids playing on the side of a hill, and they both look like they're maybe 5 years old. And I see the vision for about, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds, and then it cuts, and I see another vision right after that with an old, looked like an old person, and he had old, dirty jeans, and then he had an old wrinkled shirt, and then he had a cloth bag over his head, and he's slowly rotating, and I saw him for, I don't know, maybe 6-7 seconds, and then I was kind of confused about it. But then when I came back home, I was doing some research, and they said back in Arizona in those days when they were, going to, hang someone, they'd go ahead and put the cloth sack over their heads first. So I realized that that man is the one that took those, two little children's lives. And I didn't think anything else about it, but then I started thinking about it, a few days ago. I go, that place is extremely haunted. Well, these are just children. And I don't know why I never thought of this before, because I feel really foolish. But when they saw that I wasn't evil, because in that hotel, I mean, there's a lot of evil. I mean, that's why I'm going to go back up again probably in September. That those children must have attached to me and came home with me. And I don't know why I never made that connection before. Because, they don't rock the bed anymore. But every time I sit on the edge of the bed to look at, the two aquariums in my bedroom, I feel the weights. But they've never talked to me, they've never touched me. But, in a way, I kind of feel honored that they decided to come back with me. But, they really don't have a whole lot of choice, because I was probably one of, the few people that they know that that they can trust me, and that they came back when I came back from that hotel Vendome in Prescott. But when I thought about it, I go, I don't know why I never thought of that before, because I've talked about that I saw that, but for some reason I never made the connection that yes, they would come back with me because they wanted to get out of that haunted hotel. And so they must, I'm sure they must have grown up in that area, for those first 4 or 5 years, and then when their lives were taken away. But I don't know why I never thought about that before. I remember seeing the children, and then the man with the cloth sack on his head. And then, when I started feeling the bed rocking a little bit, roughly 14 years ago. And not too long ago, I sat on the edge of the bed just to make sure they're still there. And as soon as I sat on the edge of the bed, on the right side, the weight down, the bed went down a little bit, and on the left side did the same thing. But I can't believe after all these years I never did make the connection that they attached themselves to me and came back. And someday when I pass on, I'm sure I'll see them. I mean, because I can feel their weights, and at times I've seen little flashes, and I don't know if I ever mentioned this, little flashes of white, and that's got to be them. And I see that once in a while. In fact, probably over the last 2 months, I think I've seen like 2 or 3 flashes. But I mean, it's only for like a split second out of the corner of my eye. But I always wondered, how did they end up in my, in my bedroom? But I guess I made it harder to figure it out than it should be. But it makes sense, because when I went back, I packed up, because I only stayed there one night. And when I came back, I'm sure they attached them because they knew I wasn't evil, and then they came back to the bedroom. But I never made that connection. And when I thought about it, I go, well, I feel really foolish that I went up there. There was 2 small children on that vision, and then when I came back, the bed started gently rock, and then there's the 2, the 2 of them that sits on either side of me when I sit on the edge of the bed to look at the fish. So I can't believe after roughly 14 years, I finally figured it out. But I just assume that, they're still there, and that, be there for basically forever. But, like I said, I kind of feel honored that they attached to me to come back. And then I see those, every once in a while, white flashes. But, over the last year, I think I've seen the white flashes a little bit more than probably in the last 8 or 9 years. And quite honestly, I don't know if, they look like they were about 5 years old when their lives were taken. So I don't know. And I tried to do more research about, as even though they're, years have gone by, I don't know if they're still in that 5-year-old age bracket. And I'm trying to get more information that, over time, do they, gain more knowledge and things of that nature, or are they kind of locked in at 5 years old forever? But I'm just glad I helped them. I mean, I didn't really do anything. I just packed up and came back the next day. But I did help them, get out of there, because I mean, I'm going back, like I said, September, because I mean, there's a lot of haunted locations. I mean, haunted activity. In fact, I don't know if I ever mentioned the story, but one of the times I went up there, I was coming out of my room to go get some breakfast, and I ran into a couple, and I said hello, and we started talking a little bit, and they didn't realize that this was a haunted hotel. And I go, well, I just assume, anyone who comes up here, that's why they came. He goes, no, they were traveling, I think, from in the Northeast, and they were going, I can't remember, to like California or something. But they said that their daughter had wanted them to take a picture, of the hotel. So they have a picture taken, and then they send it to their daughter, and then the daughter says, who's the little boy next to you? And of course, I thought, who's she talking about? So they look at the picture, and I think they were over by the bed or something. I can't remember for sure. But there's a picture of there's a little boy in the picture, and his name was Billy. And I don't know how they got the name Billy, but the bizarre part about this is that when I had gone a few months earlier, I'd gone to the Hotel Copper Queen in Bisbee, Arizona. There had been a little boy that they had seen running through the hallways who had drowned accidentally in the pool, and ironically, his name was Billy too. And I thought, that's kind of strange that the little boy that passed away in Bisbee is named Billy, and that somehow the name here is Billy. But maybe that's just a coincidence. But I just, I wanted to go ahead and talk about this because I never could figure out, why are they in my bedroom? And then, I'm sitting there thinking about something else, and then it just popped in my head that they had to attach to me when they came back. So I just kind of wanted to clear that up, because after all this time, I just never made that connection, which, like I said, I feel really foolish. But I'm glad at least, they attached to me, they came back, and, someday when I pass on, I'll, get to talk to them, or, maybe over time something will change. But I find cleared up something that I don't know why it never occurred to me that they couldn't have attached to me to come back to get out of there, which I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing at that age. But I appreciate everyone watching. Thanks.